If you are an AI engineer or learning to use open source AI models, or even if you are just exploring the machine learning and AI field out of your interest and curiosity, then I'm sure you would have come across this Hugging Face many times. So in this particular video, I will discuss everything about Hugging Face in a very simpler way. And even if you are new to this Hugging Face, then don't worry, I will start from the very basic here. And in the upcoming videos of this series of Hugging Face, we will deep dive into more depth and technical concepts. And after that, I will cover many hands-on projects also, where we will use the open source models which are available on the Hugging Face Model Hub. So do subscribe the channel if you are really interested to learn these things. So let's first understand what is this Hugging Face. So this is a machine learning and data science platform where a huge number of open source models are hosted. So through this Hugging Face, we can build, train or deploy these models. And this Hugging Face contains not only the language models, but here we can also find the computer vision models, the audio models or the image models as well. So just now I said these are open source. So which means we can access the implementation code as well of these models which are available on this Hugging Face platform. On the other hand, for example, the OpenAI's GPT model or the Google's Gemini models, they are the closed source models. So we cannot access the code for those models. Now to access Hugging Face, we need to come to this URL huggingface.co, and this is how the homepage looks like. And here you would see that this is the platform where the machine learning community collaborates on models, datasets and applications. So along with models, we can also access the datasets and the applications. And not only we can access these things, but we can also collaborate and contribute to these. Now let me give you a quick walkthrough of this page. So if I scroll down a little bit, then we will see some trending things here. So these are the models which are trending on this particular week. So this is one model which is trending, and here we can also see how many downloads it has got in the previous month and how many stars it has got. So we can see couple of more models here. Then in the right side we have the data sets. So these are the trending data sets. Again we can see the downloads and the stars of that. So the data sets which are available on this Hugging Face platform, so we can use them to train our models or the fine tune our models. And in the middle we will find the trending spaces which are the trending applications. So I'll come back and talk more about these spaces in a while, but for now I'll just give you the brief. Now here you can see we can host and collaborate on unlimited models, datasets and applications. So the Hugging Face is a collaboration platform. Now here we can see we can explore all modalities like text, image, video, audio or even 3D. So all types of model we can find on this Hugging Face, and this is how we can also build our portfolio in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we can build the portfolio for ML profile. Now Hugging Face also offers some paid services like the inference API, or let's say if we want to deploy, let's say we want to deploy our model on the GPU, then we can do so using the Hugging Face. So these are the paid features of Hugging Face, so we can pay and use these features. Now we can also take the enterprise plans as well. So it offers the enterprise plans as well. Now here we can see that Hugging Face is so much popular and important in the machine learning ecosystem that even the big companies like Microsoft, Meta, AWS, Google are using this, and currently more than 50,000 organizations are using Hugging Face. Now finally we have some libraries and tools which are provided by Hugging Face which we can use for our different purposes. Let's now talk about the Hugging Face Model Hub. And to access the Hugging Face Model Hub, we need to go to this huggingface.co, and here we will click on this models. So as you can see, we have a huge number of models which are available on Hugging Face Model Hub. So currently this is hosting more than 9 lakhs models which are open source and free to use for our use cases. And there is searching option and the filtering options. from which we can find the relevant model for our use case. So let's say we want to search for GPT-2 model, so we can search from here GPT-2. So like this is the model, so we can use this model, we can find this and we can use this model. And from these options we can filter out the model basis on different parameters. So for example, let's say we are looking for a model basis on some task, so we can do so by from using these options. So first option is the multimodal, so we have, so from here we can find the models basis on multimodality, or we can find the model which supports multimodality, so image, text to text, or visual question answering, like that we can filter out by selecting any of the option. Then there is computer vision model, so from here we have different tasks and basis on that we can find out the models which supports the computer vision use cases. And then the NLP related models we can find out from here. So let's say we are looking for some translation model, our use case is some translation related, so we can click on that and all the models will be listed here which supports the translation task. Then similarly, if let's suppose we are looking for some text generation, so we can select this and all the models which are related to text generation will be listed here. Similarly, audio related task, we can find out the model from here, and there are a couple of more options from which we can filter out and we can find our relevant model. Then there is another option, this libraries option. So let's say we are looking for a model which are defined in the transformers library, so we can select transformers here and from here we can select the relevant model. Similarly, we have other libraries and we can select the library and the model accordingly. Then we have datasets and the language, so even for the language specific we can find out the models from here. So let's say if we want some model basis on Spanish language, so we can select Spanish and we can find out the model. Similarly, there are multiple languages available here. So there are these many languages plus more than 4,000 languages are available here. So like that we can find out our relevant language and the relevant model. Now from here we can search the task as well. So let's say we are looking for the summarization task, so we will write summarization and we will select the summarization task and all the summarization related models will come up here. So let's say this is one model which is provided by Facebook, so let's jump into it. So here we will find the related information about this BART model. So here is some brief information about this, then the model description, and then after that how we can use this. So this can be used using the transformers library, so we need to import the pipeline and after that we can use this model. So we will see in a while how we can use this transformers and pipeline, and I will showcase the practical as well. And at last we have some citations info, and in the right side we have some metadata about this model. So let's say how many downloads last month it has got, so these many downloads it has got, then what is this model size, what is the tensor type, so these information are present. Then we have this inference API, so this is another cool feature of Hugging Face. Now you might ask, what is this inference API first of all? So let's say we are looking for some model for our use case, for our application, and there are multiple models which are available on Hugging Face which can be used for that application for our use case, but we are not sure which model suits the best for our use case. So one option is we can download each and every model and try out in our application and then finalize our model for our use case. But there is second way for deciding the model for our use case, which is the inference API. So from here we can try out the model on the browser itself without even downloading that model into our local system. So here we can try out and we can decide whether this fits the use case for us and this is working in the same way which we want for our use case. So we can try out that on the browser, and after that when we are sure that this is the model which we want and this will work for our use case, for our application, then we can download that and we can import and download that in our local system and use that. Now let me tell you how can we try out the model on the browser itself. So here we can provide our input prompt. So there is some text which is available by default, which is provided by Hugging Face, which we can change obviously, and replace with the our use case with our custom text. But for this particular text, so this is the model. So this was the model for summarization, and this is the input prompt for this model, and it has given this summary of this particular text. So this was the summary for this particular text, but if we want to provide our own text, then we can just remove this and we can put our custom text here. So this is some custom text here. So we can put it and we can just click on this compute, and after that this will generate the summary, and like that we can try out the model on the browser itself. And here for some of the models we can find the multiple examples. So here only one example is there, so that's why only example one is there. So this is the one. Then after that we have this view code. So let's suppose we have finalized that this is the model which we want to use. So we can integrate this in the Python or the JavaScript or as the curl. So this is the sample code which Hugging Face is providing us. So we can just copy and use it in our application. So this is the Python code for reference, and this is the JavaScript, and we can also see the sample code for curl. So here when we will integrate the API, this inference API in our application, then we would require the authentication token, which we need to put here, because this inference API which we are accessing from the browser, this has some limitation. So we can compute for a couple of times as free, otherwise we will have to generate the token and then we can use that in our application. Then there is some information around the model tree, then the dataset. So this is the dataset which is used to train this particular BART model of Facebook, and then these are the spaces which are using this particular model, and these are the evaluation results. So these are some information about the model. Then here we have this files and version section. So here we will get all the implementation files for this particular model. Then we have this community section as well. So here we have discussions and pull requests. So from the discussions and pull requests we can know if there is any latest development going on in this particular model. Then if I click on this train, then we have these two options, where we can train the model, we can fine tune the model, and then there is this deploy option. So we have multiple options where we can deploy this model and we can use this. And if we want to use this model in the code, so let's suppose we are using we want to use this using the transformers library. So we will click on this. So here it will give us the code, the raw code, which we can copy and use directly in our code. So there are two ways in which we can use this model. So first one is using the pipeline. So here we just need to import the pipeline and we just need to mention the task, which is summarization of course, then the model name. There is another way to use this, which is directly without using the pipeline. So here we will load the model directly and we will use this auto tokenizer and the auto model for sequence to sequence language model. So here we will define the tokenizer and the model, and like that we can use the model for our use case. So this second option is useful when we want to have more control or we want to provide some custom configurations, but majorly we use the first option here. The next important feature which Hugging Face provides is the Hugging Face Datasets Hub, and we can access this hub by clicking on this datasets here. Here we will see that Hugging Face provides a lot of datasets. So currently it is hosting more than 2 lakhs datasets which are available for free and as the open source. So we can use these datasets to train our model or the fine tune our models. And similar to models, we have the functionality of searching and the filtering options. So we can search the dataset by using this option, and we can also filter out the dataset using different options here. So from here we can filter out the dataset using different modalities, then basis on different tasks. So here if we have the use case of visual question answering, so we can select that, or if we have some task related to computer vision, so we have plenty of computer vision related tasks from which we can select our dataset for our use case. Then we have NLP related tasks and the audio related tasks, and couple of more tasks are also available from which we can select and filter out our dataset. Now there are other filtering options as well, like basis on libraries or languages. So there are plethora of languages which are available here. So there are more than 8,000 languages which are listed here. If there will be any dataset related to that particular language, then it will be shown here. Then basis on licenses we can also filter out. So let's say we are looking for a dataset which is for question answering task. So we can search the task here. So let's say question answering. So this is the one. So we will select this, and here we will get the datasets list which are for the question answering task. So this is one of the tasks. So here we will see some information about this. So this is the information of downloading. So this particular dataset has got these many downloads in the last month, and these are the stars which it has got. So let's jump into it to get the more information about this dataset. So here we will get the information about the downloads. Then we have the information about the size of downloaded dataset file, and couple of more information is there. Then we have the models list which are trained on this particular dataset, or the fine-tuned on the dataset. Then if we want to see all the models which are trained on this particular dataset, then we can click over here and we will see all the 552 models which are trained on this dataset. And we can also see the spaces which are using this dataset. And similar to models, we have this files and version section. So here we will find the files which are for this dataset, and then the community section is also there. Here also we have the discussions and the pull request section. So from these options we can have a idea about what's going on in this dataset. So you can also contribute to the dataset by creating a new pull request on your own, or just starting a new discussions from these options. So as we saw, Hugging Face provides a quite good number of datasets on its platform, and I think we can find the datasets for most of the use cases here, and we can use the filtering and the searching options which will provide us the dataset for our use case, which is very good thing, I guess. Now another one of the feature which Hugging Face provides is the Hugging Face spaces, and we can access these spaces by clicking here. So this is the place where we can showcase our applications, or on the other side we can try out the spaces or the applications which are shared by the Hugging Face community. So here on this page, first of all we will find the spaces which are contributed in the current week. Then after that we will have all the other spaces. So let's try out one of the application here. So let's say we want to try out this particular application here. So I will open this in a new tab. So it might take a couple of seconds to load the application. Now here we can provide the prompt and just click on run. Then it will create the image according to the prompt. So I will give one prompt here. So let's say we want a white horse, then which is lowering the head and maybe eating grass, and there is strong wind as well. We need one cinematic view, and maybe we can add some other horses as well in the background, and let's hit run. So it has started with the blur image. So it is refining the image, I guess. Yes, so it will refine the image, and hopefully we will get the image at the last. Okay, so we have got the image, which is not bad, it is quite good. So it has created a good image basis on my prompt. So like this, we can try out the applications which are shared by other people in the community, and we can upload our own application as well. So let's say if we want to see the files of this particular space or the application, so we can go to the file section, and here we will see the code and the other files as well. Then we have the community section as well, similar to the datasets and models. And here, similar to that, we have the discussions and the pull requests, where we can contribute if we want by creating new pull request or new discussion. So this was the spaces, which is a quite good feature by Hugging Face. So this is like GitHub, where on the GitHub we upload the project and the community can see and contribute if they want. And similar to that, we have the spaces section in the Hugging Face, so where people can create the application, upload that, and other peoples can maybe contribute that, or may provide some input, or take reference and learn from them. So this is quite good and helpful. So I think this is also a very good feature from Hugging Face. So we have seen most of the functionalities which Hugging Face provides us. Now it's time to write some code and see how can we use these functionalities and the libraries which Hugging Face gives us. So in this particular video, I will showcase how to use the transformers library, which is majorly used for the NLP related tasks. And in the upcoming videos, I will cover more tools and libraries like the diffusers library, which is majorly used for the image related tasks or the multi-modality tasks. But for now, we will see the NLP related tasks using this transformers library. So in order to use the transformers library, first of all you need to install the transformers library using the pip install transformers command. And here I will use the Google Colab for this. So I will open up the Google Colab. So here I have created one notebook, and you can use any other notebook like Jupyter notebook, or even you can use the VS Code or any other editor. It's your choice. Now first of all, we will import the pipeline function here, like from transformers import pipeline. Now you might ask, what is this pipeline first of all? So we will understand this pipeline in detail in the next video, where I will explain each and everything about this pipeline, and I will make this very easy for you. Trust me guys, this is very important concept, because to use any model from Hugging Face, you will come across this pipeline anyway. So this is very important concept, so I will make a dedicated video for this. So it will help you to understand this properly so that you can use this efficiently. But for now, you can just understand this as a function. And when we call this function, this pipeline function, so this will give us one pipeline object. And in this pipeline function itself, we will provide the task which we want to perform. So for example, our first use case is the text classification. So I have provided the task here, which is text classification. So if you remember when I talked about the models and datasets, so here if I go back, then you would see these were the tasks. So if I go to the NLP section, so these are the tasks which we can provide there. So here I have provided the text classification task. So let's run this. So here you would observe that I have not provided any model while providing the task here, text classification. So it is also saying that no model was supplied. So it is using the default model which is associated with this particular task. So it is using this distilbert base uncaged, this particular model. And now we have this sentiment classifier 1. So this variable I have just used here, where this object is saved, and in this object we will pass our prompt. So here I am providing, I love the new features in this app, they are amazing. So let's run this. So now we have got our output. So this is saying this particular sentence has the positive sentiment, and it has also given us the score. Now the another way to use the same is if we can also pass the task parameter as well. Like we can write the task equal to and the desired task which we want to perform. So like that also we can perform the task. So here also we have got the same output. Then let's run the same prompt here. So here also we can see the output is same. We have got the same score as well because the model was same, the input text was same. So we have got the same score and the same label. Now let's say we want to use some other model from the Hugging Face. So I'll switch to the Hugging Face, and here let's select the task as text classification, and let's say we want to use some Facebook model here. So I will search for Facebook. So here you will see all the models are for text classification. So let's say we want to use this particular model. So let's jump into it, and I will copy the model ID here. Now again I will go to the notebook, and here let's write one more code. So I will say sentiment classifier 3 equals to pipeline, and I will pass the model name, and I will say this is the task. The task is text classification. Let me correct the spelling here. Let's run this. Okay, so I need to, it should be like this. Okay, so now we will pass our text input. So I will say sentiment classifier 3, and I will pass this particular text, and let's run this. Okay, so we have got the neutral as label, and there is some score attached to it. Now as you can see, we have changed the model, so the label is also changed and the score is also changed based on the model. Now there is one more another example here, so let's run this as well. So the label is negative because the sentence is the weather is terrible today, I feel so down. So the sentence has the negative sentiment, so that's why we have got the label as negative and it has the 99% score. Now let's see some other use case, which is the text generation. So in the same way, we will define the pipeline. We'll call this pipeline function. We will pass the task, which is text generation, and I'll keep this variable text generator 1, and let's run this. Now again we have not provided any model, so it is using the default model here. So I have given one sentence here, which is kind of the starting of one story. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by mountains, there lived a young girl who lived who loved to explore. One day she found a hidden path leading to, and then dot dot dot. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so it has completed the sentence. So what began as simple dreams and turns into years of adventure led her to. So something it has created. So it has generated the text. So let's now see one another example. So we have provided the task, which is text generation. Then we have provided the model, but the model is same. So let's change this. So let's use the distill bird and distill GPT-2. So let's use this model. Now it has got executed. Let's run this as well. So here we can see the output is different. Of course, even if we run with the same model, then we will get the different output, but we got the output if we pass the different model as well. So this is the another example. Now we have the summarization use cases where we have again defined the pipeline. So we have used the pipeline function and we have passed the summarization as task. So let's run this. So here also we have not provided the model, and that's why it is using the default model which is associated with the given task. Now here I have provided one paragraph related to artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence has made significant strides in recent years and blah blah blah. So let's run this as well. So we have got one short summary of this paragraph here. So for this use case also you can try out with some particular model as well. You can pass on the model equals to and the model name from the Hugging Face, and that's how you can use the Hugging Face models and this transformers library for different NLP related tasks. And in the next video we will see some other tools and libraries, and I will make another separate video for this pipeline as well. So in fact there are a lot of things in Hugging Face which I will cover in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned for those and do subscribe the channel if you want to learn these things. And if you like this video then do hit the like button as well.